mean kid.
Hey, as Karen Carpenter said, we've only just begun.
Every other time, Odysseer is ducked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Here we are. Okay, what shirt you got on, VMAX there? Is that your Templar shirt?
It is my
Dang.
Templar shirt.
You got yours on? Kyle, you got your Templars? I didn't get you an I identify as a knife maker shirt.
No.
Dan got one of those.
Man.
Don, he's back in black.
He gets all the good stuff.
Well, he was on the show when he asked. Don is back in black, and I'm wearing suspenders, and I think I've got a polo logo. So I'm flirting with this new thing here. I'm going to jump on and do this echo cancellation real quick. I'm flirting with this new thing that I can't do it now. Just y'all don't echo. Big Hand showed us this tool that we can use with our mics that allows us to do certain things, and we are now doing them. And I think I'm a little loud here. Let me try to. Oh, I am. No, I guess I'm not. Do I sound okay to you guys?
Yeah, it sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right, Mark, you sound good. Don, you sound good. Kyle, you sound marvelous. And Odysseer, you sound like a third world country. That's just your accent, though. That's just your accent, though.
I know, right?
Well, hey guys, welcome to season 5, episode 43. That's about 40 less than the Knife Perspective podcast. But you can find us both in the search engine. I'm Ship Carlisle. Hey guys, we want you to settle in onto this new episode of the Knives Templars. I'm Having Trouble is the best podcast made to teach rising and established makers like you how to pave your way into knife making as a hobby or business. Be quiet, Kyle. It's our podcast. It's the best podcast this time. And we can be heard.
Say anything.
There you go. There you go. We can be heard in 37 countries. Again, episode 43. We're just 57 away from the big 100. And we thank you for your listenership. And while you're at it, guys, go out and click that subscribe so I know that you're listening to us on the Knives Templars podcast. Guys, have y'all been out to the knivestemplars.com lately?
Oh, yeah.
I have.
Yeah. One of the last times I was there, you wrote a really nice article about some sanding sticks.
Well, those are some fine sanding sticks. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you can see my fingers tonight, but they are black with carbon. And for our folks that can't see this, this right here, I just dumped it in some. That's the black side with the carbon. I hadn't sanded it yet, and that's the side with just put it in some ferric chloride just to see what it would look like. And I've been on those KH Daily sanding sticks for the last couple of hours on some projects. So fine tools. Matter of fact, I want you to know that before we get started, let's just not stop right there, guys. If you're looking for a certain piece of equipment and KH Daily offers it, make sure you're buying from him. Don't buy from these guys that are out there trying to undercut him by crashing and hijacking his post and his site, because I can tell you that if you buy a KH Daily tool, number one, he stands behind it. He's not a fly-by-night, just out there making something, trying to make a quick buck. He does this for a living. He works out of his shop 365 days a year, except when his wife drags him off to a vacation. And if you own your own business, you know there is no vacation. So he's fortunate his wife does that, and he makes wonderful products. So I guess with that, I'm just going to say welcome to the show, Kyle.
Welcome.
Yeah, thanks. Glad to be a part of it again. Been on here for quite a few.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with. I'm going to agree with our buddy Dan. People shouldn't be asses, jackasses.
Yeah.
Now, Dan and I have both said bad words on your podcast and mine. But just so y'all know, guys, Dan did the last podcast, bad word free. He was very proud of himself.
He did a good job.
That's impressive.
He did such a wonderful job. As a matter of fact, we're going to make him an honorary Knives Templars. What should we make him, VMAX?
Come up with something. He's already a Knives Templar.
Yeah,
he is.
Okay, he Knives Templar in the first degree.
All right.
That works.
Yeah. What is that? There's airman third class, second class, third class, first class, right? Right, VMAX.
Yeah, first, second, third, first airman, first class, second class, senior airman.
Okay, so should we just go ahead and make him a senior Templar with that sweet voice of his now?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Well, hey, you be sure and tell him, Kyle, that we have nominated and collectively voted. Everybody raise your hand. We got 100%. And and Dan is now Knives Templar's senior honorary co-host with no budget. Otis here, how you doing tonight? Yeah, how you doing, Otis here?
I'm doing all right. How are y'all doing?
Well, I just want to know. Go ahead.
Did you forget to play your intro?
Not yet. We're not there yet.
Oh.
We're not there yet. Otis here, what in the world are you drinking tonight?
Oh, my Old Faithful little.
Oh, good.
I thought it was one of the party balls.
Buzz balls.
Well, I got that one downstairs. I can run it out. I can go get it in a little bit, but not yet.
You know, when you bring another podcaster in and he, crashes I invited him, but he crashed it and says, have you done your start yet? And I just don't know what to say that because I was always going to go like, what's Otis here drinking tonight? I was going with Party Ball and I was going to go.
3.
Well, y'all can't hear that because I just royally screwed up. So what I was going to do is go now like this.
3, 2, 1, 0.
You're listening to the Knives Templars.
Get ready, y'all. We about to Bobby Boucher you. Bam!
I got a piece off of the wagon that Sam Houston used to take JFK to the moon.
Pinto sauce. I like that. Pinto sauce.
Pinto sauce.
You're tuned in to the Knives Templars podcast, featuring Otis Sears Special Sauce Pinto.
I was a mean kid.
Long time listener, first time caller.
Eric T.R.E. Rivers.
Holy crap, I built something.
Don the Train Watson.
I can pay off all my credit cards and beef jerky credit line at Bucket.
Joey the Riot Terrier.
Enchant de lait will make you smack your lips and anyone getting too close to your plate.
Mark the Sour.
You drinking my soupy?
And Chip Shegman Carlisle. And now broadcasting alive, it's the Knives Templars. Coming to you live from Porkhouse Studios located in Hartselle, Alabama and other U.S. locations. This is the Knives Templars podcast. We are the coolest knife-making podcast on the planet, and we are downloaded around this big blue marble in over 24 countries. We are on air, on demand, and heard worldwide in all of your favorite apps and at knivestemplars.com. There you go, Kyle.
Yeah.
That was the opening. That was the opening. See, I have a tendency just to kind of shake things up. That way the people are driving through traffic and they're like, wait. Where did this start? Am I at the beginning? Do I need to rewind? What do I need to do? Bam, there it is. It's the opening. And they're like, oh, wow, I just got an extra 10% of material in my podcast for free. Knife Perspective doesn't do that. So there you go. There you go.
I think in our latest episode, I think we gave them plenty of content. It was like 3 hours and 4 minutes.
I noticed. I was like, it took me all week to listen to that. And and when you had asked me, did you hear? I was talking about you. I heard the beginning. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, I got to get through the next 3 hours. So I, listened to it, and I was like, whew, I didn't miss anything. So there you go. There you go. What are you drinking, Kyle Daly?
I've got some of this Traverse City Whiskey Company. It's their American Cherry Edition, and Traverse City in Michigan is known for their cherries. So,
yes, they are.
It's pretty tasty. I didn't really, the first time I had it out of the bottle, I didn't really notice the cherry too much, but tasting the cherry more and more. I don't know if it kind of settled to the bottom and when I mixed it up or something. I don't know, but yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, I lived just north of Detroit for many years, and man, I remember great cherry picking up there. We used to love to go cherry picking, but so you're drinking from the bottle like a cowboy tonight. Good for you, man.
No, I got my My fancy glass.
Oh, don't do that.
yeah.
Don't do that. Don't do that. I wanted to paint an image for you.
You need a tin cup.
Kyle, I will tell you, if you didn't already have your own podcast and you weren't such a darn nice guy and do everything, we would just vote you in just because, you've never invited me to your podcast, but I can say that you're welcome here 100% of the time because you're just a character. You're great. You're a nice
I
guy
will
at that.
tell you, Dan does the scheduling.
Oh.
I do everything else. Dan lines up the guests.
If Dan
You're barking
wants
up the wrong tree.
If Dan wants his new title, Dan better come climbing up
that's what I was thinking to say.
Dan better come climbing up the right leg, as far as I'm concerned right now. VMAX, you are drinking a Schnapple tonight. No Schnapple? Let me see.
No Schnapple. This is another one of those Malaysian beer here. That's Pumpkinchino Coffee Pumpkin Ale.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're one of the, you're
Yes,
one of
that
those.
was a mouthful, man. Say it again.
Oh yeah,
Eh,
man, I love the thing.
So it's Pumpkinchino Coffee Pumpkin Ale.
That actually sounds quite good, and I will tell you, I kind of love the people that go against the grain and aren't all pumpkin spice for Halloween in the fall, because hey, we all tend to follow the ringing bell, but for that particular one right there, looks pretty darn good. It actually sounds good, coffee into
It
pumpkin.
is. It's a good dessert beer.
Yeah. I was watching Vincento's Plate this week. He's an Italian guy that cooks really good Italian food. And old Vincento, he was making minestrone and he was throwing chopped up pumpkin in it. And I'm like, I got to get a pumpkin. I'm throwing some of that in there. I don't care if it's fall or not. It just looks good. Don, you drinking the cow chow?
Oh yeah, I hear about it.
Cow
I got a hot take on the pumpkin spice stuff.
Well, go for it, man.
I think apple cider's way better than any of the pumpkin stuff.
I would have to agree with that. Yeah, I think so. But Don, are you drinking a seasonally flavored cow chow?
No, I'm not. I'm a regular, just double chocolate, man. But I tell you what, I got a beer that I tried here a while back. It's made by the Three Daughters Brewing Company in St. Pete, Florida.
Yeah.
And it's called Beach Blonde Ale. It's an IPA.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's you need to try that. You need to try that one there. They make 3 or 4 different beers, and they have a seasonal beer, but I haven't tried that. But that beats my. Go ahead.
Let me guess. It tastes like a grapefruit.
No, they don't.
Oh, good.
This one here does not. No.
Yeah. When they get
got a hint, but not bad.
Okay. Yeah. When they get all crazy with the grapefruits in there, of course, I'm on what is that drug for cholesterol? Lipitor. So it always says if you eat a. Says if you eat a grapefruit, you'll drop dead. So I have to, just be careful about that kind of stuff. So who makes that cow? Who makes that cow chow? Is that Purina cow chow or?
No, it's Creo Brew. It's made out of
Creo Brew.
Creo Brew. You see it all now. I guess I sold so much of it. They need to send me a check.
I would say so. Creo Brew, and you can find them online at cowchow.com or where?
No, it's creobrew.com, I believe it is.
And how do you spell Creo? How do you spell Creo?
I think it's CRIO-BREW.
There you go. .com. And what you need to do is reach out to those guys and say, "Hey, I am chatting you guys up, and I know you guys are seeing an increase in sales, and I want you to know where it's coming from. I need you to make sure that you're sending me some cow chow to the house." So there you go.
Right.
There you go.
Thank you, man. I'll do that.
Well, you got. If you don't ask, you won't get.
That's right. You have not because you asked not, brother.
That's right. I'm still working on my KH Daily sponsorship.
I am too. I'm waiting on all those hammers I sold for him. I'm waiting on that royalty check.
Isn't it funny how when you own a business, Kyle, how many people come climbing up your leg for, hey, you give me one of these and I'll talk nice about you.
Yeah.
And that's okay because some people are sincere and they really do. I speak highly of you just because I know you and know your products. But
that's the way I do it.
Yeah, you have to develop a relationship. You just can't go out and ask. But I would say, Don, you've developed that relationship. You get a lot of that, Kyle?
Not so much anymore. Every so often, usually around the holidays and stuff. The ones that really tug at you is the people who are like, I lost my job. I need some. Here, can you donate a knife for me to sell to make some money and stuff? It's like, but
Yeah.
it's hard to cough up $300 or $400 on a knife you could sell.
Speaking of selling knives, I think I heard you say that at Knife Center that you not only unloaded a bunch of knives on them, they moved right out of Knife Center real quick.
Yeah, they're quite a bit. The last time I checked, there was 2 of the 33 knives that I sent.
What was did you send them? I guess were you sending just a mix, or what would you say you sent them that was moving?
Yeah. So my pocket bushcrafter has been the one that they seem to sell a ton of. It's a small, like 3 1/8 inch blade. I make it to go in this back pocket sheath. And it comes with it, so you can put like a Leatherman or something. But I designed it mainly for myself because I wanted to carry one of my own knives. And in my engineering job, I can't have something hanging from my hip, so I designed something to go in my back pocket.
Are you doing your leather work?
Not anymore. There's a guy, Spin Stelzer. He's Spin, JRE Industries. He's in Schaumburg, which is like 25 minutes away from me.
Right.
And yeah, he made a stamp for it, and he clicks them all out real quick and has a sewing machine and stuff and makes them way faster than I can. So
let's all hold our pinkies up because Kyle's gone big time. Big time Kyle. Your new title is Big Time Kyle. Actually, Kyle, all due respect, man, you're someone to not only do you bring a free bar to Blade Show, I've never heard you say a bad word about anybody or anything. So yeah, good for you. Good for you.
You must not hung around me enough.
Well,
no, I try to talk nice about everybody. But yeah, the Knife Center, they got 21 of my pocket bushcrafters, and those all sold like in 2 weeks. And then there's still one of my bushcrafter. They got 12 of those. 6 of them were in the my favorite bias cut Westinghouse canvas micarta, and then this red fire hose burlap.
Oh, excellent for you. That's so cool. What are you working on these days?
I just finished up a couple of brand new knives, working on a steak knife. Lots of people had asked me about those. Probably had dozens of people ask me. And when I told them that's going to be like $20 or $200 a knife for the 4-piece set, and they're like, "Oh, I don't want a 4-piece set." But I had one guy that said, would you make me 12 of them? I'm like, absolutely. So finally have a customer that wants it, and working on one of those designs and a couple other kind of smaller chopper designs. They were some knives that he really liked, and some blade shapes and stuff, and adapted it with my handle style and stuff. So he's planning on getting those for gifts and stuff.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Hey, Don. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to ask him on steak knives, what steel are you going to make them out
of? These prototype ones, I made them out of 154 CM. That's what I had a bunch of. That's still one of my favorite steels. Yep. It holds an edge really well. The interesting thing about a steak knife is you really only use like the first half of the knife too. So that was kind of interesting.
Right, that's it. Right there.
Yeah, because you usually are at a higher angle when you're cutting. You pretty much just use that kind of probably the first third mainly.
Yeah.
But finished those up today and was playing around with it. They're super sharp, and I think they're going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm that's one of the things I look forward to doing in the future is making a steak knife set. Just start off with one for my wife and see where it goes. I'm on knife number 101 right now. Quite excited about that. Yeah, that first 100, it was kind of cool. And the guy that I gave number 100 to was excited that he got number 100 from a divine knife maker like myself. So hey,
I just marked number 5.
Go ahead.
I just marked 527 today.
Wow.
Ooh, congratulations, man.
Good for you.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say with this guy, perception is reality. So to go with it. Undoubtedly doesn't know about the other 10 of my good knife making friends. So.
I've been trying to like keep or make sure it goes to somebody that I know is never going to get rid of it every 100. So I've got 100. My sister-in-law, when they had her wedding, I made the carving knife for their cake was number 200.
Oh, wow.
I've got number 300. My wife's cousin has number 400. And then my buddy John that just got married, he has number 500 that they use to cut their cake with it.
Now, each one of your knives, you put the number on the knife, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought I saw on all of your knives. Yeah.
Yeah. I loathe doing it because doing with the etch with my electro etcher, I've got to do 5 different stamps.
Oh yeah.
So I do my KH daily, then I do the 3 numbers, and then on the other side the steel type. So it takes a long time to etch out all that stuff.
Are you putting not made in Pakistan on the?
No.
I did you purchase the Pakistani equipment or tools that I recommended to you this week?
The tap set?
Yes.
No, I passed on that. Sorry.
He was having some trouble with the American made stuff, so I encouraged him to purchase a piece of Pakistani equipment, a nice tap and tool and die tap set. So
anyway. I will have to give Irwin some props. Like I messaged them on their Instagram IG account.
Yeah.
They instantly sent back. Well, like 10 minutes later, sent me a message back that said, "Yeah, send us the model and your shipping address and phone number and stuff, how to get in touch with you." And I did that, and they said it'll be about 2 weeks. You should have 2 brand new tap handles.
How sweet is that?
So they stood behind it. I'm pretty sure they make them in Taiwan, but I need to spend some money and get a nice stare at one. House was telling me to spend some money. It was like, I don't have big Brian House money, so.
Hey, Kyle.
Knives.
Kyle, what about getting a laser, man? With all them knives you selling, I would definitely get a nice 50 amp or 50 watt laser with that bad boy.
Well, he's working on a sponsorship right now with
Okay. Sorry about that. I spoke out of turn.
Yeah, I want to get a laser, but I want to get one of the 50 watt fiber lasers. And the last time I got a quote for one, it's about $3,000. So, been trying to save up, and every time I get a little bit close, we end up having some other house stuff, new tires or different things that eat away in some of it. Yeah. Mortgage payment. It's not as much fun paying mortgage with your knife making money.
You ought to do what I'm doing, but I'll tell you, it'll be right after this. Hey guys, I want to let you know that you need to go to TR Maker, and you can find him at tr-maker.com. Like I said, hey Daniel, .com. There you go. So tr-maker.com. Anyway, you sell since 1980. He's offered high quality and fast service from Istanbul, which is in the heart of Turkey, a beautiful city. And let me tell you this, I ordered something from him on a Friday. It was in my mailbox from Istanbul on Monday. Can you believe that? And it goes out. He can go out to every country in the world. So you need to check out their line of knife making tools to make your job easier and more precise. I'm going to tell you, you can't do without their products once you discover them. They're quite good. So visit tr-maker.com and see what they have to offer you today.
If you don't have one of their knife vices, that's one of my favorite tools in my shop.
Oh, it's a gorgeous piece of equipment. I don't have one, but I've got a friend that does, and I'm pining for it. Mark, you've got some TR Maker tools, don't you?
I do. I have... I don't know, what do I have for them? I have the
file guide.
Yeah, the file guide, and I think that's it, right? Yeah. Did I show you something else I had?
Just the file guide.
Yeah, that's right. I did.
You were asking about the polisher this week, which I found to be. Now, Kyle, you make a very nice sanding stick, and I will tell you, I use it as I told you before the show. I've spent the last 2 hours using your sanding stick. But let me tell you this, on the TR Maker polishing tool, it's got a certain amount of weight to it, and those ergonomic handles and the way you can clip that paper in there and get that nice 90-degree angle. It's just another great tool in your toolbox. I have been excited with it. So I'm sorry, Kyle. I keep a TR maker polishing tool, and I keep your sanding sticks equally out on my table. And depending on where I am at my process, I go to one or the other. I think both jobs can be done with them both, but damn, they're just all nice tools. Oh my gosh, Dan quit cussing, and I've started cussing.
Yeah, look at you.
What's
what's going on?
What has happened? What has happened? Otis, here, you look sad. I haven't called on you. What's up, brother? I'm seeing your background there, and I know you set that up for this podcast.
I seen that right off, man. What the heck?
Yeah. For you guys listening,
it's a ring holder.
Otis here went to Hobby Lobby and got himself one of those articulating wooden hands, and it's not. Let's just say it's turned around backwards at us, and it's not signing peace right now. Something about I guess.
Saying you're number one, Chip.
I think he's saying somebody's number one. So
yeah. They call it a California howdy.
Oh,
that's what they call it, man. California howdy.
Hey, did you see that movie? Mr. Bean comes to America, and that's how you say hello in America.
In this day and age, I would be very reluctant to start throwing hand signals in the air. You don't know what you'll end up with. So dangerous world we live in. What's going on in Laurel, Maryland, Otis here?
Not much, my friend. Everything is dark and cold and rainy.
Whacking deer? Whacking deer?
Oh, no, not lacking deer. No, not at all.
No, whacking deer.
Oh, yes. I took a small vacation from knife making.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, I haven't posted anything in a minute.
I noticed that.
Yeah, so I've been putting a couple of deer in the freezer. I got this suburban farm that I was invited to, 50-ish acres, about 10 minutes from my place. I already got down there 4. Right. I'm proud to put 4 down, and another one at a different friend's farm. And there's another farm opening up next week, I think. Another little 10-acre infested. And since Maryland gave us for the following counties, Howard, Montgomery, Baltimore, I think Frederick, they gave us unlimited doe tags.
Oh, nice.
Baltimore
right,
so
I'm gonna try to collect my unlimited doe tags this season.
Well, that's great, but Baltimore doesn't need anything extra to do with guns.
No. Crossbow and and a compound bow. My bow is actually on the corner there. I went and I got a value pack worth of broadheads, and cheap ones do the trick. And there's a single use and done deal. Happy.
Wonderful world you live in up there in Laurel, Maryland, where it's dark and rainy and cloudy and full of deer infestation, as you call it.
Yep.
So it's
been fun.
You haven't been making any knives, you say?
Nope. I took a quick break. You can only focus on one passion at a time.
Yeah, it's hunting season right now too.
Yeah, right now, let me do some hunting. Fill up my freezer, and then I'll start smithing again.
Did you happen to see my trip to deer camp, the photos I posted on social media?
I saw that. I saw that.
Did.
I was wondering, when are you going to go up there? And
yeah, I'm getting ready to go down. We had some good rain, so we know that seed's going to sprout. But more importantly, did you see that little footprint I found in the forest?
Oh, I saw that. I thought that was you.
No, I had my shoes on, as you could see. That was a pretty big footprint, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, clear.
Somebody might even say it was really soft, powdery red clay, because the Weyerhaeuser had been through there clearing the undergrowth this year. They'll come in about 12 years, and and take all of those trees for whatever they're going to turn them into, paper or whatever. But yeah, I'm walking through. I look down and there's that footprint, and I'm like, well, there it is. Everybody around me was excited. I posted it on Facebook, and everybody went crazy. It's like, oh my gosh, there's Chip. He found one. There it is, the big old footprint, and they were quite excited. What do you say, Otis? Here?
Smoke them if you got them.
He said it was on the road less traveled.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly.
Interesting.
It would be the thing of the century, right? Maybe the millennium, right? If you poke one down.
Well, interestingly enough, I got invited to go on a Bigfoot podcast with that posting to tell my story. And I have declined because I don't really want to go out there and do that kind of stuff. But, it was a legitimate footprint. I took my snake boot and I, doubled it up, made it twice as long. I smoothed out the treads and then took my fingers and made some big toes and fingers, and I spoofed the Bigfoot community and got invited to a Bigfoot podcast in the process.
Oh my!
But Bigfoot's really out there. I just didn't find any of his footprints.
This is an official confession, huh?
Oh yeah, as far as making the footprint, but I'm telling you, Bigfoot's real, man. I wouldn't have him on my knives if he is. Yeah, I wouldn't have him on my knives if he wasn't real. If he was that easy to find, gosh, everybody'd see him.
Social distancing champ.
Yes, he is. Right. Yes, he is. You let me know. You be on the lookout for them footprints up there in rainy, dark, cloudy, deer-infested Maryland.
Yes, there has been sightings over here. So just so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maryland got some funny.
Might have been somebody's Aunt Bunny.
Could be.
Do y'all even know that? Are y'all old enough to know that? The Eddie Murphy comedy special that was on HBO or whatever back in the 80s, where he was wearing the red leather, it was the bit was about Uncle Gus and his wife. Your wife is a Bigfoot, Gus. Your wife is a Bigfoot, and her name was Aunt Bunny, and their kids were little Bigfoots, and Uncle Gus took them fishing, and when they went out fishing, they threw down their fishing poles and slammed their faces in the water and came out with fish in both of their mouths, and they looked at their uncle and said "Goody Goo-hoo." So that was you just got to go find it. It's funny stuff. It's funny stuff. Don may remotely remember that, but my mind,
you come off the wall, brother, with some old stuff.
My mind never forgets Goody Goo-hoo. Mark,
it was in the Christmas special.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. That's right.
Goony Goo-hoo.
Yeah.
Goony Goo-hoo. That's where it came from. Yeah, that whole thing was a mashup of things. Matter of fact, we got to start writing the next Christmas special now.
Yeah, leave me out of that one.
No, sir. No, sir. You are the star. You are the star. So, what are you going to be making next, Otis? Here.
I don't know. What I do know is that tomorrow morning, I'll be getting up at 5 a.m, heading up to Frederick to the Bill-Moran Museum. It's going to be the 8th annual. The 8th annual show, knife show.
Yeah.
For the members to go and show off their stuff. And
are you brown bagging?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
You gonna be there? You gonna take knives? Are you taking some knives?
Yeah, I'll be taking I think 12 knives.
You sell out, man.
So you paid for a table.
Yeah, I'm a member there, and I did pay for a table. Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's so much easier if you just wear a long trench coat and just open it up and have the prices listed above each one. It's not brown bagging; it's just brown jacketing. So,
that's right.
And there's gonna be 2 Forged in Fire judges over there. Dave Baker and
Leon Practa.
No. The mean one over there. What's his name, man?
Jay Nielsen.
Jay Nielsen, yeah. Jay Nielsen and Dave Baker are going to be attending.
Oh, nice.
I think they're going to have tables as well. So it's going to be a good day tomorrow.
I hope you put something up for Best in Show of some degree.
They don't have that.
Yeah.
Not yet, I don't think. They didn't last year, so
I hope they get it in the future because I think you're a winner. think you're winning. VMAX, what you been up to there? How's Squishy doing?
Squishy's doing well.
Good, good.
You
Not
have it?
getting squished. Yeah, that I'll tell you, that bird. I don't know.
What's the lifespan of that thing?
Like 15 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Kyle, he's got a barn sparrow that his wife saved. His name is Squishy.
Yeah, birds live a long time.
Yeah, Squishy got out of the cage one time, and the dog about ate it, and it was a bad evening. But then the dog ate. Then the dog ate a transistor radio or something around Blade Show, and we were all dealing with that. So here we go.
That's right. The dog had to come along. He ate dinner with us.
Yeah, he made an appearance in the pit, didn't he?
He did.
He
did.
Right.
That's right. You saw him in the pit.
Yep.
Yep. We were slipping him some of that blueberry moonshine from I don't know who.
So my dog has as much time in the pit as I do. That's not a good statistic.
Oh, that's fine.
You need to fix that next year.
I do.
There's nothing like seeing a knife maker with a Van Dyke beard walking around with a teacup chihuahua. I mean, it's just it's so masculine.
You got to have confidence.
Yeah. Well, I'm so excited. I've got a new shop dog too. He's called a Aussie. He's an Aussie Doodle. I wanted a Australian Shepherd or something more meaty, and I got a mini Aussie Doodle. But I tell you what, he is full of life, and I think I've already fallen in love with him. So there you go. But
in about 6 months, you guys will have the same amount of hair.
Yes, we will. Yes, we will. You making any knives?
Me? Oh yeah. And so I'm just about to glue up this weekend. So I got I got those 4 knives that have some of the firework on them, and I glued up some scales with the I got my liners on the scales. The only problem I have that I have it sitting out there in some clamps now is that I think I squeezed one a little bit tight, and now it's bowed. So I gotta unbanana my scale.
Well, we're going to talk about bowed here in a second, but let's make sure that we give kudos to where'd you get this filing abilities?
I gave it to one of the most famous file workers renowned, and that was Dan Eastland. No, I mean Kyle Bailey. That's right.
Oh, Dan Eastland.
You're going to make Kyle.
That was on point, man.
You're going to make Kyle cuss. You're going to make him cuss.
No. I'll tell you. I'll still talk you up, Kyle. I think that the class was great at Blade Show, and I'm still pulling the book out every time I do one, just to kind of relook at the marking, getting the marks out and getting it right. And then I have the 3D printed card, and I kind of hold that out, to make sure I'm doing it right. But no, I definitely, it's definitely helped me out.
Nice. Are you still using your Kyle Daly OnlyFans account to set and compare knives and all that?
That's right.
Oh, you do know about that. Okay. I just didn't know you were out there. He's been discovered that Kyle does have an OnlyFans knife making account. So how's that?
Nobody wants to pay for that.
Well,
Maybe you're not showing enough skin, man. You got to start forging naked in the moonlight.
Like Otis here. I read a story this week about a teacher who was making $42,000 a year. She got caught with an OnlyFans site, and since July, she's made over $1 million on OnlyFans. And I'm like, well, you're selling your soul to the devil, young lady, and that's not respectable. But I'm like, where do I sign up for this?
One of my coworkers at Navistar, he had to do a state grand jury, so he had like 2 or 3 months. He had to go downtown Chicago every Monday through Friday. Wow. When he came back, he said, "Your wife's a teacher, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Make sure she knows that if she does anything with a student, all of those charges are sequential. You can't serve them at the same or concurrently." Mm-hmm. And he said there was one lady that had like 27 different relations with students, and she was going to be serving like 170 something years.
Darn.
So
rightfully so. Yeah, Alabama doesn't fool around with that either, and that's very good because certainly we don't need any type of that kind of stuff in the world. And to each his own, but I certainly don't want my teachers doing OnlyFans at night for my children or grandchildren. So anyway, so you have an OnlyFans account, VMAX?
I don't. I'll have to get with you to see how that works.
Yeah. Still considering. I think I'm just gonna stay away. Just stick to YouTube right now.
All right.
The Van Dyke's looking good on your face there. I wouldn't cut that off. Don, you've got more of a beard than I've seen in the past. Are you growing it out for winter?
Yeah, my daughter hadn't trimmed it. My daughter gives me a haircut about every 4, 5, 6 weeks, and she hadn't given me a haircut yet. She always shaves my beard up real tight. So
real pretty.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Real pretty. So tell us about that knife you was showing us. So you have to tell it in a fashion that people who can't see it know what you're doing.
I been trying. This is one of my blades here. I call it feather and fur.
Mm-hmm.
And it's out of 440C stainless. And
you mean like buck and duck?
Yeah, like a buck and duck. Yep, that's right. A bird and trout, whatever you want to call it. But
fur and fin. How about that?
Fur and fin. Yep, that'll work too. But anyway, I wanted to try. I wanted to try some of these bolts.
Scale and hoof.
Scale and hoof. That'll work. Anyway, I wanted to try a handle with the Gulson. What they call them? Gulso bolts. And
what are those? Are they screw in type bolts?
Yeah, they're screw on bolts. You might be able to see the bolts there. And
did you still epoxy the handle on and then
no you don't have to do that. I wanted where I could take it off, or I just want to try something. I want to go to do more of the bolts and with my stainless stuff. But yeah, it turned out pretty good. Now what I'd done is I just routed out all the profiles. I hadn't even shaped them, so but it still feels. I just knocked the edges off.
You using a normal size router to do that?
Yeah, it's a 2.25 horsepower.
You better watch your fingertips there, buddy.
Oh yeah.
I know your word. I know your word.
G10?
Huh?
G10?
No, this right here is Linda Micarta, black Linda Micarta, and it's just something I just try and get. The thing is, you got to figure out what size bolts you need for the thickness of the handle or the scales, and then drill them and recess them in. Mm-hmm. And I got the bolts from, I think it's called Maker Supply out of Texas, Aaron.
Mm-hmm.
Really nice guy. So I got some bolts, and I'm going to start doing a little more of these too,
Did you buy one of those counterbore drills made
yes,
for
you got to have a counterbore, 1/4 inch with a 5/32 hole. And then with a 1/4 inch.
Does that work with micro crack steel?
Micro crack?
Well, if you got micro cracks in your steel, can you still use those bolts?
Oh yes, most definitely. Oh yeah, you use all you need.
I had my one of my micro crack buddies to email me tonight, and he said he's a sweet man. I don't mean anything bad by it. I love him, and if you're listening, I love you. I'm just hey, everything is material. You talk to me, it could be on the podcast. He was like, yeah, I was seeing where you were beating all over the side of that, and I'm paraphrasing, where you're beating all over the side of that knife, straightening it out. And if you look at this picture here in the forge, you can see that blade's cupped in, and are you twisting around and turning around while you're in the forge? And I'm like, yes, Sam, because so we went back and forth, and I'm like, man, it's just the heat distortion in the photo. It just makes it look that way, and I don't know if he took my word for it or not, but it was. So it's perfectly straight. It's a perfectly straight knife, but I use my KH Daily carbide hammer.
Well,
as far as I'm concerned, the KH Daily carbide hammer, and straighten that sucker out. Because man, it's a great tool. I'm glad that KH Daily turned me onto that, because there's no sense in sending out curved knives to anybody. There's no reason for it. You imagine if you were a hockey player and you were skating on curved skates, and by the time you got down to the blue line, you'd be 4 feet over from where you started because your blade just pulled you off that way. Nobody needs a set of car tires out of alignment any more than you need a knife that's out of alignment. Make your blade straight. KH Daily. .com.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
.com. So you is this going to be something you use more often?
I don't know, man. I mean, I just something I was trying.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't use them. I probably wouldn't use them on carbon steel knives because it can get wet, underneath the scales and cause rust problems, I think. But on stainless, I think it's going to be something I want to use.
Yeah.
Hey, this is something different, man. And
Yeah.
but,
Well, if you use it on carbon, you can always, I guess, take it off, clean it, dry it, oil it, put it back together, and all that kind of stuff.
You'd have to oil it.
And if it's under the blade or if it's under the handle, you can always go back and Scotch Brite it or whatever you need to do to clean it up. So,
Sure.
But I do agree with what you're saying. Hey, you guys don't have to speak, but I'm going to say, if you believe in Jesus, y'all believe in Jesus, raise your hand.
Amen.
Look at everybody. Everybody's raising their hand tonight. Hey, I want to bring something to your attention here. Redeem Steel. Man, such a blessing in our community. There you can find them at www.redeemsteel.com. In this day and age, because I'm old school, you don't even have to put in www anymore. You just have to put in redeemsteel.com. And they're made up of craftspeople of all sorts, blacksmiths, bladesmiths, metalworkers, woodworkers, leatherworkers, etc. They use their talents to build homes for the homeless, give water to the thirsty, feed the hungry, share the good news of Jesus Christ, and so much more all over the world. Redeem Steel is a Christian 501c3 nonprofit organization that uses the works in the hands and the words of our lips to make a lasting impact on those that we serve. And they certainly reach out into our community as well. So, you guys go out and visit Redeem Steel, donate, get involved. I'm getting involved with them, and it's a great organization. Stewardship means everything in this world, especially in this day and age when the world's a little bit crazy, right?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah,
We've never been closer than we are now.
Yes, that's for sure. Every day we're a step closer to him coming back. With that being said, guys, hey, let's. I don't mind talking about it. So, world news. It's crazy out there, is it not?
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, evil has reared its head to a level right now where I understand everybody just calm down. We all just need peace. Everybody go back to this, that, and the other. But man, the only way to eradicate evil that is, I look at it is like cancer. The doctor goes in and tries to remove cancer and get rid of as much cancer as he can. And he doesn't always get it. And if he doesn't get it, it comes back with a vengeance, right?
Yep.
And it's and I don't want to call out any group or anybody other than to say killing in the name of religion is evil. Evil is cancer, and the only way to take care of cancer is to find a way to totally eradicate it. And if you got to remove the limb, remove the limb. So I have many good people from all over the world that I'm friends with living in Detroit, and Kyle, you being up around Chicago, it's a melting pot of many different cultures. And, in the words of Rodney, why can't we all just get along and love each other? Man, the world would be so much better. It's amazing when knife makers are the ones out there yelling, why can't we all just love each other and get along? And all of those sales platforms all hate us all because we're providers of weapons, but we're all the ones out there saying, hey, let's just all get along and love each other. So,
yeah, I got one thing. One of our family members is having to travel abroad for work, and I saw this. There's a it's called the STEP program, the Smart Travel Enrollment Program.
Yeah.
It's through the government. You go to travel.state.gov, and if you sign up for that program, you put in your phone number, and they'll text you and send you information regarding things abroad, where to go for embassies and stuff, and they can help you get out if things get dicey. So if you're abroad, I would definitely suggest trying to sign up for that program so that the Department of Travel can help get you out.
Well, what if you're not a woman, you're just a man?
It's anybody.
Well, you said abroad.
Gosh.
Well, you are from Chicago. I don't know how you guys talk. If you're abroad, you can go anywhere and get out. Yeah. If you're abroad or a dude, no.
Yeah.
No, that's good information.
On the 20th, they put out a worldwide caution and suggested everybody that's outside the United States try to travel back. So if you have to be outside, I would definitely suggest trying to sign up for that and make sure that they can get in contact with you and you can get in contact with them.
I'm just going to Switzerland, man.
Yeah?
Yeah. And aren't they the neutral ones? Isn't that right, B-Max?
Usually.
Yeah. It's going to go climb a hole in Switzerland.
I think everyone there is part of their militia, no matter what, right?
Yeah. I think so.
I believe so, yeah.
I think everyone's issued 3 guns there. I think everybody gets a rifle, a shotgun, and a handgun.
That's sweet.
They ain't got much. They don't have much of army either, do they?
I think
military?
That's why everybody is
That's
part
it.
of it.
Yeah, they don't have military. They better believe in a gun.
Yeah, and all they've got is those Scandi grind knives, so they need people like us over there making knives.
Big buoys.
Yeah. Oh, look at my deadly opnel. Deadly opnel. I'm going to clean my throat with my deadly opnel. So anyway. Hey guys, Pop's Knife Supply. They've moved. And if you're a listener, I've seen a few folks out there that have been poked by some people that have been a little less than friendly, asking, "Hey, where's my order? What do I do? I can't get anybody to answer the phone." You should be good now, but they moved over this past weekend, and they're having a big shindig, I believe, on the 10th and the 11th of November. Go out and check their website. Check their website just to be sure. So if you're over in the Gainesville area, you need to go out and attend that because it's going to be a great time. But Pops has always supported us very well, and you can find them at popsknifesupplies.com or popsknives.supplies, either one. Pop's Knife Supplies was started 40 years ago by James Poplin. James was already an accomplished knife maker when he started that business, and he has served the knife making community and industry with prices and only charged great prices and only charged actual shipping costs. Anyway, he had to sell that business when he retired, and he's passed on now, but it's run today by Alan Searles, Joey Berry, Dirk Lutz, and the great Andy Roy. They're all full-time knife makers as well as running a great business. Their focus is customer service and great products and prices. You'll find many great brands there. So look for their event here on November 10th and 11th and get out on the site and order some parts. I just got let's just say my wife, the Discover bill came in and it says pops, 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 pops. It looks like popcorn. It's popping all over that page. And my wife has a tendency to let me know how she really feels about my spending when the Discover bill comes in, and I've been pop shopping. So
it's easy to do.
There you go.
I just placed an order from Pops too, so just yesterday.
Yeah. Well, what'd you get?
I ordered a height gauge, or height scribe, or whatever you want to call them.
Ooh,
nice. I haven't had one of
Mm-hmm.
those, and just been making it work. And 2 more bars of 3/16 8670.
Very good. Good steel.
2-inch wide.
Yeah, I got
the 2-inch by 48.
Too.
What do you got, Otis, here?
No, I said I need to get me one of them height gauges too. Yeah. I need one.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's very useful. Extremely useful.
I use expendable calipers from Harbor Freight, and when they quit dragging scribes, I just go out and get a new pair.
No. Nothing can do. I mean, I guess I've been managing without a height gauge all along. But it comes to a point where it's like, man, I have to do this again, and I have to be fiddling and looking for the proper line that I'm looking for instead of just twisting that little knob and bringing it to the proper height. And
you don't trust yourself with a pair of calipers?
Calipers are excellent, and I have 3 of them, actually 4.
All right.
But there are certain things that you need a bit more finesse, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think it's a great tool. I think it's a want, not a need. Because there's guys out there using bits that are still making beautiful knives. Describe their lines.
Yes, I agree. I've been, like I said, I've been managing up to now, right?
Yeah.
My blades are straight, my edges are properly aligned and everything. It's just that I need something to make my life a tad bit easier, And
I think everything I buy creates a little bit more of a cool factor.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta have a use for the thing, right?
What's that?
Yeah, I don't disagree. I'm playing devil's advocate because there's many ways to skin that raccoon. But the bottom line is, yeah, it's a wonderful tool. I would love to have one, and I'm just being nasty about it because Mark's got one and I don't.
Very nasty.
No, I don't have one yet. I'm waiting for it to come in.
Just like the forged guillotine, the guillotine. I'm gonna get me one very soon. My fuller attachment that I bought off of Amazon. So I was working on another piece, and the thing just fell apart. It broke right in half on me. So you know what? Forget that. Let me buy a proper guillotine tool and start working like that. So I had to put that on hold until I can get the funds for it.
Well, maybe after this weekend you'll have plenty
I was going to say, after this weekend you're going to buy 2 of them.
Yeah,
send one to me. Send one to me, and keep one yourself.
Are you looking for that one that I think it's Cliff Dufton makes, or one of those modern forge guys?
You're talking about the guillotine or the
the guillotine. It goes like in the hardy hole.
Yes. It goes in the hardy hole.
Yeah, it's like plate steel that they tack together.
Yeah, one side. I mean, you have a couple of different options there. One is a rounded, like for a fuller. One is square, and I think another one is like for a cutting too, like a little wedge.
I heard that KH Daily is getting ready to come out with a guillotine tool, and if you put in Knives Templars 80, you get 80% off of everything on your order, including knives. Yes.
Yeah, we need a discount from Kyle.
Knives Templars 80. And if you want more than that, just put in Knives Templar 95 and see what he has to say. You'll probably give it to you. Otis here, I don't disagree with you, but here's what I forgot to mention to you guys earlier when I was switched over to Mark and didn't come back to it. I've started a new approach at getting decent equipment. So like this weekend, I don't know if you saw the event post, we're having a hammer in at my shop tomorrow. And the cost of admission is I put out a registry, kind of like they do for bridal or baby. And I've got a power hammer. I've got a 16-ton press. I've got a KH Daily handle. What's the handle shaping tool? You got the. Come on, help me here, Kyle.
The Handle Buddy?
Handle Buddy. You know, you have too many things named Buddy, according to Dan. But
Buddy, Pauly Shore.
But do the Pauly Shore for us, Bud. The weasel, do the weasel and the Buddy. There, I'm talking about something you guys don't even remember again. But anyway,
I always love the throw the grenade or. Throw the pin, throw the grenade.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've got what I'm doing these days is I'm hoping for at least a turnout of 10 people because that's how many items I have on the list. So tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. I'll be waiting at the shop with waiting for people to come in and they need to bring some material or material moving equipment. So if somebody brings a press or something, I'll have a place and a way to get it into shape. But you may do that with your guillotine. Just have a party and put it on the registry.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
I like it.
Oh, well, you will take cash too, right?
I did put on there I will take cash, but if you do bring cash, make sure it's in the sum of one of the gifts. I don't want to have to spend time adding up all that kind of stuff. So I'm not Kyle Daly. I'm not like, Daddy Warbucks, so that's what everybody thinks when they want something for free, right, Kyle? You sell a lot of knives. Let me have something. So
all those overpriced tools.
Yep.
Yes. Hey, tell us a little bit about the pin cutter that you've got, because I don't know if people have really got out and heard about that yet. And that's a neat little tool.
Yeah. So it's so it all started from me wanting to cut my pen material easier for myself, and turns out a lot of people had the same problem. I whipped up some out of some scrap plywood, and I've been using that, posted it a couple times, and then Swag Off Road, the company that I use for my porter band stand, they reposted it, and I had a ton of people messaging me, "Can you make me one of those? Can you make me one of those?" And it was like, I don't want to make it out of plywood. It like would take forever.
Mhm.
And so that's when I kind of came up with the idea of 3D printing something. And with those little inserts, you can make a pin a 1/4 inch all the way up to 1.5 inches. So there's a 1/4 inch, a 1/2 inch, and a 3/4 inch spacer. So you can get all those different increments. And I usually use 1 1/4 inch pins. Some people like to cut them at 1 inch, so it's really nice for those adjustable things. And then you can screw it right to a board with some runners.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Or you can use it by itself.
So it enables you to keep duplicating the right size. So you're not throwing away an 1/8 here, 1/16 there, a 1/2 inch here, because I heard an English or a European fellow one time say, "You Americans just waste pen material." So undoubtedly, pen material must be expensive overseas, because they say that you've got enough pen hanging out of your knife to make a whole nother knife with on some folks. So I like the aspect of that, is that if you're trying to maximize the use of your material, it certainly enables that.
Yeah, I like to cut all my stuff up and put it in a tackle box case, so I can just have it up there. When I'm getting all my knives laid out, I just pull out the pins that I need. So I like to cut up a whole bunch of them at the same time, and it has a little section in the side to catch all the pieces. And then when you push the next piece in, it pushes it right through. So it turned out really nice. I was really happy with how it turned out, and it's been a really good seller the last month or so that I've had it out.
Yeah, people, you can find that great tool. Certainly he promotes it on social media, but again, at KH Daily, you can find his website and look on his products, his shop, and you will see that tool. And it's it's caught my eye. Just waiting for a sponsorship, but in all actuality, though, Kyle, that'll probably be one of my purchases here in the future, just because it was unique, and I thought I would support you. Hey, VMAX, if you were, I hear you're not really into swimming around the ocean. You're getting tired of that, want to see something new. So, if you were swimming up the Great Mississippi this past weekend, all the way to Minnesota, do you know where you would end up?
I would end up in
Minnesota.
I don't know. Sure.
I'm hoping you would
near
end
Minneapolis.
I'm hoping you'd end up at Phoenix Abrasives, and you can go to phoenixabrasives.com, and they offer great prices, selection, and quality, and quick delivery on all of your abrasive needs. They have a complete inventory of belts, discs, rollers, wheels, and everything else you need to get the job done right. So if you enter Templars 10 at discount, and hey, let's share here. If you also put KP 10 at discount too, which is Knife Perspective, hey, we're one community here. So Templars 10 or KP 10 at checkout, you'll get 10% off your order. You're welcome, Kyle. You better drop me a bone on your podcast. But hey, they're great guys. I love their abrasives. They are roadworthy. They last. They cut that steel, and they're a good one. They're a good one to visit. And that brings me to a question I had tonight. I had a guy on social media that was asking me one time about, how do you get your steel sanded out and get all of these scratches gone? And it's not saying use this abrasive, use that abrasive. It kind of goes back to the what Jason Fry told me, which was a quote from somebody else. The last 10%, the last 10% is what counts. But it's really before you get to the last 10% on something like this, because I have always told people, when you make something, it's got to be square, it's got to be true, it's got to fit right, it's got to be sanded, it's got to be pretty before you attach the next piece to it. Because if you do, you're going to disable your ability to make it pretty when you get done, and something's going to show. And I don't know how many knives you've seen online. And guys, if you're listening and you're a maker, this is a Templars and Knife Perspective tip. We're to help you here. We look at your knives, and we see that one horizontal scratch going down your bevel or going down somewhere in your line. It's like, man, that would have taken 10 more minutes to just take out with some graduation in the abrasives. That would have made the knife, but now it's got either in that plunge line or somewhere in the knife. You just could have taken a little more time. And I think that comes with experience, but and it comes with desire. But I think there's a lot of guys out there that kind of rush their knives and they take away from the beauty. Go ahead, Otis here.
It's frustration, I think, because I've been there where I've been hand sanding for 2 hours, 3 hours, and that scratch still there. And it's like, okay, well, leave it alone. I'm not gonna cuss on the show, right? We are forbidden, but yeah, leave that beep alone and keep on moving because I can't afford to spend a whole day removing a scratch. Now I'm gonna speak from my own experience here. The best thing I found was a disc sander. I bought a cheap one off of Harbor Freight.
Yep.
I think is a 4.5 inch disc sander. I will use a 320 grit right after the I belt sanded at 120 and go
Hold it
to a
down with a
320.
magnet. Hold it down with a magnet.
No. It's got a sticky side to the.
No. Are you holding the steel down with a magnet?
By hand.
Oh, by hand. Okay.
And you make sure you get those vertical scratches with that disc sander, and then you go back to your hand sanding. I told you many times my sand progression is 220, 400, 600. But with the disc sander, I will hit with the 320 first. Yes, Mr. Don.
You talking about disc sander? You talking about a random orbital sander?
No. It's has a little. It's mounted on a little table. You have the little disc there. And
Okay, disc sander. Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no orbital.
Just a motor directly attached to the plate.
Okay, I was thinking, you said 4 or 5 inches. I'm thinking,
yeah,
it's talking about a
very
random
small disc. I think it's about maybe 4.5 disc.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about now. Cool.
So
yeah, a lot of other people use a 9-inch. There's a 12-inch, and I use one of the Nielsen disc systems. He's out of Canada. It's actually a magnetic aluminum hub with a whole bunch of magnets in it.
Nice.
And you can swap the plates on and off,
nice.
which is really helpful. And on some of those plates, I put a 70 durometer piece of rubber, and it just gives it a little bit of cushion to help get those out a little bit. So I'll usually, on my kitchen knives, I'll try to go up to like 600 and then start hand sanding at 400. And that makes the hand sanding go a lot quicker.
Yep. It helps a lot. This, whatever you can do, whatever you can afford, disc sander wise, it's highly recommended. I can't say it enough. As soon as I'm able to move from the shop that I am right now and have a bigger place, I'll be definitely upgrading to something bigger. And
3M, if you're listening, remake the 9-inch purple discs. They, for whatever reason, they stopped making those ceramic purple PSA discs.
Right.
So
I got a few of them
in the 9-inch size. Well,
You
if you
know-
want to send them my way,
Yeah.
You need
I'll
them?
take them.
I use Redline, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So I really like those. They make them in 60, 80, 120, and 220, and like MagnaCut and stuff. That really helps those lower grits. And then I have to trim the bigger paper, but the red line is what I use for 320, 400, and 600. But I just feel like trimming the paper just gets me. It's so much faster to just rip one and stick a new one on.
Now, Kyle, you use Phoenix abrasives, right?
Mhm.
What belt do you like there? What belts do you use?
It depends on what steel that I'm doing. So I use a lot of CPM 154 and 154 CM. For those two steels, I really like the purple ceramics. I do all my grinding post heat treat to help keep everything straight. That seems to be the best for that. On the MagnaCut stuff, though, the purple 36 grit belt just doesn't cut nearly as well as the Incinerator, the BSM Atrox. So I'll use that one for the 36, and for whatever reason, the purple 60 and 120 on MagnaCut cut like great, but that 36 grit one just loses its sharpness really quick.
Hey guys, can I add something? If you were using your belts, whose equipment would you be using it on? I'll just ask 2 of the 3 of you.
What's going on over there?
I think Chip's playing with his mic.
I'm having fun. I'm having fun with it. I don't hear this effect right now, but how is it? Matter of fact,
Let's just do it like this. Guys.
Okay, all right now.
I can't understand what he's saying.
I wish I could hear this effect. Can you not hear me and understand me? Alright, let me try this one.
Can you understand this one?
I was a mean kid.
It sounds cool, but we can't understand you.
Apparently that's too much knife knowledge for old Chip. Two and a half.
He just couldn't handle it, brother.
Crap. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah.
And
all right. I got this new thing to play with my mic, and I was putting on like the Wolfman voice, the Wildman voice, the Alien voice, and undoubtedly it's just screwed up. But hey, Mark and Don, if you were going to put those abrasives on a machine, what would you use?
I put them on my
AmeriBraid.
By gosh. And I will tell you that you can find them at AmeriBraid.com, and AmeriBraid owners Eric and Kevin, they've developed one of the best grinders out there, accessories and tools, some of the best on the market. You need to take a look at one of their 3 packages. I own the Majestic, but you look and see what's right for you. When you call AmeriBraid, I can tell you right now, you're going to speak with one of the owners guaranteeing the best service around. Mark, did you talk to one of those owners this week?
I did. They I was emailing back and forth. Eric responded, and I'm trying to get one of those deep notch tables, the tilt tables, and wasn't sure if it, on their site, I wasn't sure if it came with the tooling arm. So, asked them that, and they verified it does, and it is. Well, first I got excited because I thought I ordered it last week, but then I found out it's been sitting in my box, my order box for like a week, and so finally I got it officially ordered yesterday. So. Hopefully that'll be on its way pretty soon.
Good deal.
Senility has set in. You're getting old now. That's
right.
Remember to push. Hey, do I sound normal again?
Yes, you do.
Oh, good. I just wanted to make sure y'all were just laughing at me in general, not because I still sound funny.
That's right.
You said you own the Majestic AmeriBraid package.
I think you own the Mastery package. I think he meant
Mastery.
Oh, I own the Majestic Forge, and you can find them at majesticforge.com. And hey, they manufacture gas forges ranging from 2 to 5 burners, and with many different forges to choose from. We are sure you're going to find a Majestic Forge that suits your needs. Go get you one at majesticforge.com. And while you're at it, go over to AmeriBraid and buy the Mastery package. Matter of fact, my package is now much larger than the Mastery package because, like you, Mark, I've continued to add on to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Don, what are you going to tell him about that tilt table? What's he need to do?
I mean, I was going to ask him, what is he going to do with the tilt table? Mark, what was you planning on doing with that?
Well, I don't know. You told me you had the tilt table and you make great knives, so I'm just going to buy one.
Oh, I'm flattered, man. Thank you.
I bought the integrated rectal thermometer with mine. You going to buy one of those? Nothing like knowing your basal temperature while you're grinding.
Okay.
That's right.
No,
I just felt like, hey, it'd be one more tool for, maybe not every knife, but like probably not the best thing for a recurve, but on these little like these mini hunters that I make, I thought, wow, instead of fussing with it the whole time, I could just finesse it in on that tilt table and get them real straight right away.
Yeah,
you've got a wheel also.
That tilt table works great. It helps. You have your center line scribed,
and your bevel line
to that line on both sides, and then you can finesse how high you want your bevel to go. You
Yeah.
just go adjusting that table. I have one, and you just fiddle with it, and work with it until you reach that final height
Mm-hmm.
that you desire. It's great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Do you-
if especially if you can handle your scratch pattern kind of going up at an angle,
yeah, following the
because you
blade.
kind of have to you actually have to turn the handle a little bit
Yeah.
to
Right.
follow it. I like to have all my scratches vertical, so when I'm done with the tilt table, I'll hit it on the
Mhm.
on a
Trizac or
belt.
something. Yeah.
I actually like so mainly what these were all Magna Cut, so I've been using the 936 Norton
Blaze
belts.
Blaze.
No, they're the 936 Norax from Maritime. Lawrence Lake told me about them. It's actually a ceramic structured abrasive that's in the higher grits, and that's the only thing that I've found that will hold up to Magna Cut.
Is that Maritime Knife Supply at maritimenifesupply.ca or maritimenifesupply.com?
Both.
My gosh, it is. And if you want to get great products and services in Canada and internationally, check out Maritime for great deals and service. I'm your spokesmodel, Chip Carlisle, and I help you with all your .coms. Check. We got that one off.
Lawrence sent me some transfer tattoos in my last order. The boys are excited to try to use some of those.
Oh, wow.
Nice. Heck yeah.
That is very nice. That is very nice. So, what you'll find with that, Mark, is that it's a versatile tool. I would go in and take you've got a big wheel, right?
I don't. That's on my list too.
All right. Well, when you get your wheel, get your rotary plat in the wheel, and I would always say get an extra platen. What do you call the platen arm? The one that comes with it. Get one with the two. Since you've already got one with the rubber wheel at the bottom, get one with the two steel wheels, and you can tilt that back. So whether it's a wheel or rotary platen or that would be on my list, because you can take each one of those and use them with that and make some beautiful grinds as well. And then it's kind of like having two. I'm at the process where I'd love to have two machines now. One that's always horizontal and that I can move around if I wanted, and one that's always upright with my standard, platen on there, an arm. But it's going to be a nice versatile tool. But what you need to do is, when you set it up, go ahead and go in and hack out a little bit of the steel underneath it with a 36 grip belt, so that you can get up closer on your platen.
Okay.
Call Don about that. He's the expert there, but he recommended it to me and I did it, and it made a big difference as far as you're not climbing up your platen on the edge of it about to hit the wheel at the top when you're grinding out a knife. You kind of, when you do that, it allows you to kind of hit mid platen and not get up too high.
Yeah.
With bigger knives, that makes a difference.
Yeah, Mark, give me a call when you get that, man. Give me a call. We can do a video call, and I can show you exactly what you can do with an angle grinder or rotary, and then get that right for you. That way you can get down to that one. You can tilt it in about that 1.7 degrees, 2 degrees close to the belt when you're trying to get, like, say, doing a kitchen knife or something like that, or you got to take that. But just call me. I'll get with you on that.
Yeah, I'll give you a call.
And we do listen to your show, Kyle Daly. So if we hear you repeating any of this knowledge, we're just going to call you a copycat plagiarizer. He's like, man, this is some good stuff. Why don't we talk about this kind of stuff on our show?
Hey, you got to hook a brother up, man.
Yeah. I used the one by Bald Man and Brian House.
And when I saw theirs, I immediately looked to see if Ameribraid made one, but another equally wonderful table. Don't get me wrong. I am brand conscious and brand loyal, but I'm brand loyal to so many great brands because there's lots of great brands out there. And that takes us in. I mean, man, you are my Ed McMahon to That's Johnny Carson, because you just brought me to, you need to go out to houseworks.com. And
Housemade.
housemade.com. Excuse me. I was looking on my piece of paper, didn't get it to it quick here enough. But housemade.com and see what Brian Houseworks has got out there. You can get a Revolution 2x72. You can buy the parts. You can buy the plans. You can do whatever you want to challenge yourself to build your own machine or buy what he will be able to cut out for you. Additionally, he makes one of the most beautiful forges, and the next forge that comes into my shop is going to be that Apollo forge ribbon burner. I've seen they made that double ribbon burner with several of the guys right out there right after Blade Show, which was a cool tool. But I have used that ribbon burner forge, and you talk about a nice consistent heat, beautiful machine. Dial it in. Ovens are important, and you need to have them, guys. But I was watching guys make kumai in an Apollo forge with a thermocouple in it and coming out perfectly every time. So you need to always check out what Brian Houseworks got going on over there at housemade.us, I believe. Housemade.us.
Did you see one of his new products?
I saw his
drill press.
Oh, no, I was going to say I saw his ashtray made for his cigars.
Yeah, he's got a really sweet drill press table that he came up with. Mounts to like an XY table vise.
Yeah.
And then they have like all these little bins and stuff you can clip onto the side to make your drill press a lot more adjustable, and has slots and different things in it milled in it a lot better than what your drill press table comes with for clamping things down, mounting 1, 2, 3 blocks and things like that in there.
Oh, nice.
That is cool. That is cool. Hey guys, we have some breaking news. I just got it here. You hear it first on. Sorry, Kyle. Sometimes people get breaking news on the Knives Templars before they do Knife Perspective, but this just in. Jeff Fader complimented a comment that I had for him on Facebook on a knife he made. And then additionally, I commented again, and he followed up with a secondary comment. We're that much closer to being friends.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. Any more updates, we'll let you know. Look for us at thenivestemplars.com for any Jeff Fader news that's out there.
Good deal.
Now Kyle's pulling down his Jeff Fader membership club. Yeah, he's got his membership club fishing lure. That's what it was. I told I replied back to him. Yes, quit rubbing it in. Yes, you've got a Fader fishing lure. I replied back to him that I'm certainly a knife maker, and I used to own a fishing lure company and made fishing lures as well. And he was like, "Cool." So I was like, "Ooh, we're best friends now." Next thing you know, we'll be making toasted, roasted, fired oysters in a heat oven together. So, no, those guys are cool over there. But yeah, breaking news, few days old. Congratulations to Mr. Eric Rivers and his wife celebrating their 61st anniversary this weekend. And I don't know which one it is, but he bowed out on the show. Yeah, he bowed out on the show to for Otis here's interrupting us. He wants to know that he's gone full buzzball on us now. Would you like to tell us about this breaking news, Otis? Here, it is a strawberry Rita buzzball. That is the equivalent of eating or drinking a strawberry Jolly Rancher melted into isopropyl alcohol. You're gonna go blind. But yeah, congratulations to Eric and his wife on their anniversary, 61st or 15th or 20th. I'm not sure quite where they're at yet. So anyway, congratulations. How long have you been married, Kyle?
Will be 13 years in December.
Seems much longer. That woman looks like she really loves you. Dragged you to all kind of cool places.
Yeah, we've been together for 15 years, 16 years.
Beautiful lady. I love your gardening, and your travel photos are nice. Otis, here, how long have you been married?
Longer than I ever thought I would. So
good deal.
19 years.
19 years. Wow. I can't believe somebody put up with you that long, but you have a very special wife, I can see. She's on a mission.
I mean, she is, putting up with me. Yeah, you
I
gotta
think all
be
of our wives put up with us. Let's see what we got here. VMAX, you've been married
20. It'll in November be 25.
Oh,
25. You are an old man. Don.
I've been married longer than Kyle's been born or been alive. Now, me and Mama's fixing to celebrate 43 years this November.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. Well, you've got me by
blessing.
13. You've got me by 13 years. I've been married 30 years.
Hold up. How long you say?
43, November 8th.
43.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you got married? Like 11?
Just turned 18.
Just
Barely.
18? Wow.
That boy was in love.
Yeah.
He was in love.
Oh, yeah.
Good on you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Congratulations. It's nice to see these long marriages.
It's a rare thing nowadays.
It's nice to see these long marriages and women that will put up with people like us. Yeah, like I said, I just celebrated 30 this past year. Guys, let's talk a little bit about knife design, since we've got some knife design with regard to culinary knives. And having Kyle on here tonight, when I invited him on the show, I wanted to kind of jump into that because he's a knife making culinary connoisseur. So what do you guys...
Hold up. Let me go get the last knife I made. I made it for my for my wife, actually.
Okay.
Get it.
You're going to show it to the listeners?
I'll be right back.
Oh, he's going to show it to the listeners. So here's my first question to get us off. Kyle, you do not forge, is that correct?
Not yet, but I do have an Apollo forge that I'm working on assembling all the parts.
Are you really a knife maker at this point if you don't forge?
I think so.
I was wanting to get him to cuss. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Oh my gosh, nobody else. I don't have Eric with me tonight or Joey. Good gosh, I'm surrounded.
You're all alone.
Pinto forges.
I'm going to throw. Well, I'll have to wait till Pinto gets back on. I was going to say, hey, I'm getting ready to stamp out I want to make a 10-inch Santoku, and I want to do an integrated bolster up front. And I was going to say, I've got some 5/8 round stock, and I don't know if that's big enough to do that with. So you guys are all confused right now. So let's see if Otis here will come back on. He still looks confused. Okay, well, we'll move on for that. And I'll come. Go ahead.
I know when I was listening to the Hustle and Grind podcast, Noah Bloomberg, Antioch River Forge, was saying he made a bunch of integral chef knives out of some 7/8 octagonal steel that I think it was 1084 or something that Lawrence had at Maritime. And he said, man, he was able to stretch that out really far.
Yeah. Otis here, are you back on with us?
Yes.
Otis here, will I be able to make a 10-inch blade, 10-inch Sentoku with, I've got some 5/8 bar stock. I don't think there's enough steel in that bar stock. I've got some, I've got one piece that's 36 inches long and several 10-inch pieces, but I don't know if I'll be able to stretch that out into a Santoku is 5/8.
I think it's more the height than the length.
Right. That's what I was wondering, if I'd be able to get the height out of it. What say you get it down to about 1/8, Otis here?
Yeah, go for it. We'll see. Show us what you do.
That's
Show
not
us
the
what
question.
you can do, my friend.
I was looking more for that's enough steel to beat that knife out. I guess if I come up with a 3-inch Santoku, that's what it is. Yeah, Otis here is showing the listening audience a beautiful knife he made for his wife right now. So while we're doing that, guys, I'm working on this right now, and nobody can see it, but I dumped it in some acid to see what it would do right there, but I'm not quite sure if I'm going to put it in some coffee or acid or darken it up or just shine it back up. I'm still thinking about it. For you guys that are listening,
is it already ground up? Did you
I gotta grind it. I always harden them before I grind them now, so just cuts down on things.
Talking about that, right? On this knife that I made for my wife here, I grounded to near 0 the cutting edge before I went into the quench. Big mistake.
Yes.
That thing turned into a snake on hot sand.
Potato chip.
It took me a good not a potato chip, man. It turned it warped each way, looked like an S, right? So it took me a good minute to bring it back to straight, from the spine, right? So I got that nice and
good.
straight, and the edge. I mean, the biggest issue I had was right on the center of the cutting edge, right in the
Right.
middle. That thing turned into an S, just
Anything-
like that.
Did you anneal it before you did
Yes.
the heat treat?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, but I guess it was just too thin.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I've always heard that you should have it at least 40 to 50 thousandths at the edge before heat treat.
Next time.
Yeah, we had talked about that on the last show, and about edge thickness. And I've just decided that I don't remember if it was Don or what is it that told me that why sand twice? Go ahead and heat treat it, and then just sand it and go ahead and grind it to shape. Because if you're careful with your belts and stuff, you may take a little longer grinding, but you're not sanding twice.
That's
so. Knife making, though. Go ahead.
The ceramic belts and stuff are so efficient at removing steel, especially if you drop down to a 36 and get a lot of that steel ripped off.
Yeah.
Those 36 grip belts remove so much steel and don't heat up the steel really quick when they're sharp. You can really take it down quick.
Yeah. We didn't get into it very much last episode because we had discussed the cutting edge thickness where we're grinding to before we harden. What makes a good culinary knife? We've got chef knife, we've got Santoku, Gaiotu. There's so many different ones out there, and I'm not really concerned about the shape because whether it's a tack hammer or a carpenter's hammer, they just have different. They have different. Jobs that you use them on. But as far as making a good culinary knife with no regard for shape at this point, what goes into that? You got some good culinary guys here. Go for it. I thought we had some good culinary guys. I thought we had some good culinary guys.
So are you wanting like something for boning or something for chopping?
Well, I guess I'm getting into, if we talk about steel, durability, the finishing process, edge thickness, when do you harden? What's a good thick knife? What about an S grind? Do we need an S grind? I mean, there's so many different variables. And if you're wanting to make a culinary knife, I hear a lot of guys, even like Fader and Mamasi and those guys always talk about release, the potato cut test, those kind of things. What is it that makes a good knife, or maybe a good general all-purpose knife? I'm just throwing that in there. You guys can take it where you want.
Yes.
So
somebody say something. Come on.
For me, I think culinary knives, stainless steel is the way to go. There's just so much more water and washing and everything that the knife will see. I think it really helps to use that. That's part of the reason why I really think MagnaCut is worth it for the kitchen knife market, because it can get so much harder and hold an edge for so much longer, and it has superior corrosion resistance. For your kitchen knives, if you know what you're doing with a knife, you want your edge to be really thin. The thinner you have it at the edge, the better it's going to chop. The less wedging, like if you cut carrots or harder vegetables, you'll get it'll wedge in there and then crack and like split instead of actually cut. So the thinner that edge is, the more it'll want to cut through there. I like something that feels good in your hand. I like rounded handles. I don't really like facets all that much. I want to get into doing some hidden tang kind of wah style octagonal handles, but I haven't done that. But most of my knives are more of a Coke bottle shape that you can choke up and do a pitch grip. There's so many variables into how people cook. It's really hard, or that question is like opening Pandora's box.
Yeah, it is.
So I prefer to do like a push cut. So when when I'm cutting, I'm pushing forward in a slicing motion.
Mm-hmm.
Some people like to pull backwards in that. A lot of the culinary schools train the rock chop. So you're always keeping the tip of the knife on the cutting board. There's just all those different things that add to different things of what you're using. So I think there's like over 300 or something unique Japanese knife shapes for their culinary knives. And that's because each one of those does things just a little bit different and a little bit better. So
what now? It's the type of steel. What steel do you like best?
MagnaCut is I think the best kitchen knife steel.
And MagnaCut is the steel that's extremely hard, if I'm not mistaken. That I always hear people talk about really having to grind on it. Once it's hardened, it's hardened.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got vanadium carbides instead of chromium carbides, which are much harder than a lot of the other stuff.
So in the old days, people would say you want this carbon steel knife because it's going to hold an edge, but something like this MagnaCut that takes that out of the equation now.
It'll hold an edge just as well as the high carbon steel. Actually, a lot of the stainless steels have more carbon in it than any of the carbon steels do.
Oh, do they?
So like
I
so like
take it-
154 CM has like 1.3% or carbon, and like 1095 is 0.95. So it's got like 40% more carbon.
Are you sending your knives out to be hardened, or is somebody jetting them out and then hardening them for you, or do you do that in the shop?
I heat treat my own knives.
Gotcha.
I am getting some of my stuff water jet cut now.
And you cryo
which
too, right?
Me a bunch of time for, I cryo in liquid nitrogen.
It's kind of hard to make the number of knives that you make a week if you had to cut out every profile.
Yep. And then I also have a Rockwell hardness tester over here in the corner, so I test all my knives and stuff too. So, kind of try to keep all that stuff in house.
Where's your Ferrari?
I wish I had one. My hardness tester was actually one of the best deals that I've ever got. It's one of the cheapest pieces of knife making equipment I've ever bought.
What brand is that, bro?
It's a Wilson. I don't see a model number handy, but so one of the guys that was on one of our first episodes, Jared Sponzilli, he was our plant metallurgist. His dad was a metallurgist before him, and he bought all this metallurgy equipment, and he thought when he retired he was going to open his own shop and kind of do some contract work. And he said he didn't realize when he was 40 how much how tired he was going to be at 60 trying to do all that. And he sold me that one for $150.
Oh,
that's cheap. Sure. I give you 200.
That's a good deal.
I give you
Did
200.
you happen to have a gun pointed at him?
I'm gonna be 59 in a couple months, and I don't feel tired at all.
Just wait until you turn 60.
Trust me. It's getting rough. Not you, Don. You're all young and cool down there in Florida.
Oh, it's nice.
It's gotta be the Florida water,
That's nice.
Must be.
Swim with them gators.
I grunt every time. I used to just grunt when I got off the floor. Now I just grunt anytime I move, and I just move. It just works like that now. So I was kind of opening this up on culinary. Do you get direct requests from chefs, Kyle?
I haven't gotten a ton of direct requests. A couple of them that I have, they've bought models that I already have.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of them have asked for different things. I'm going to be working on a Chinese cleaver here soon, so that'll be a new venture for me.
Yeah. The and that's cool. And it's neat to make something that's unique to another culture. Like that. But I guess what I was going to say with those particular guys and gals that are cooking for a living, you really haven't gotten into some of the things that they particularly look for in a knife as a tool, because I assuming their knife is their number one tool that they typically have.
Yeah, a couple of the the chefs that I've sold knives to have bought MagnaCut Nakiris, which is like a vegetable chopper. And one of the guys, Ryan, he's Papa Rhino on Instagram. He said he used it for like over 4 months, and he didn't have to touch it up at all. And
Oh,
he
wow.
used it for 8 to 10 hours every day.
Yeah.
And chopping stuff. So
I think if Otis here tilts over any further to get the last millimeter of liquid out of that buzz ball, he's going to hit the floor, and that wooden middle finger is going to end up in his ear or nose or something. So it's time for another one, Otis here. Don't get your tongue stuck in that bottle.
No. I'm good. I have a question about this MagnaCut, since Mr. Kyle here uses a lot of it. How does it compare with, say, LMAX and S30V? Is it better? Is it harder? Is it about the same? Because stainlesses wise, at this moment, my favorite is gotta be the S30V. Is it?
okay.
Talk to me about that.
I haven't actually used a whole lot of S30V. I've used a lot of S35VN. One of the kitchen knives that I have from Dan Eastland is S35VN. And I'm not familiar with the hardness and stuff on it, but on my kitchen knives for MagnaCut, I usually heat treat those to 64 HRC. Sometimes they're a little bit closer to 65 with the cryo treat. But I haven't actually ground any of those blades. Like mainly most of the only steels I've really used are the Alabama Damascus and 154 CPM 154 and D2 and MagnaCut. So I've kind of tried to hone in on one of the steels that I liked, and I haven't used a plethora of other ones.
Otis here, are you using stainless?
I made a few in the past.
How are you hardening them?
I did some jerry rigging, and I was able to get my blades hard. Like I said, one of my favorite knives I carry almost every day is an S30V that I made. And the way I measured edge retention there was how many deer was I able to skin and quarter without having to resharpen it. That was one of the things that pushed me into knife making. Was every deer season go to Bass Pro and get a new knife, say a buck or whatever brand knife specifically made for skinning, and halfway through one deer I have to stop and resharpen it. And I found out later that the HRC on those are around, I don't know, between 45 and 50, right? Which is very low. So maybe I can make something better. So I started looking around and do some redneck engineering, because I don't have an oven. So I had to find a way to harden my stainless in the forge. And so with the S30V that I still have it. I had it on my hip today. I went through 7 deer, skinned and quartered, before I had to resharpen it. So it was a pretty substantial upgrade from a say a buck knife that I bought at Bass Pro. Uh, so that's why I was asking about this MagnaCut. How much better is it from an S30V? I mean, that's my point of reference, right? Is it better? Does it hold an edge longer? Is it harder? How hard it is to sharpen it after? Oh, I don't know. All the bone and uh, fur and hide that you've been through. Because going through meat and vegetables is one thing, but when you're going through hide and you're quartering and taking a carcass apart, that takes a little bit of a toll on the edge, right? So I would be interested in to know what this MagnaCut can do?
So MagnaCut is 1.15% carbon, where S30V is 1.45. But the big thing is, so the S30V has 14% chrome and MagnaCut is 10.7. But the big thing that you're wanting to do is the vanadium. So the vanadiums are about the same in both of those, but since there's less chrome, it's making more vanadium carbides than chromium carbides in the microstructure. And then Laren Thomas has a huge, long, deep dive on his site with the different things. And for the toughness, at 6, well, let's see here. Where's S30V? So S30V at 60 HRC is around 6 foot-pounds, it looks like. And then at 60, around 60 HRC, MagnaCut is closer to 18 foot-pounds for toughness. So quite a bit tougher for the same hardness. He just has the 1 point there for S30V. And then, yeah. So there's all the comparisons to all the steels. If you go to Knife Steel Nerds 2021-03-25 CPM MagnaCut, there's a huge long article about all the stuff. Or you can listen to the podcast we did with Laren, where he talks all about MagnaCut when it got released.
Oh,
Or
cool.
get his book. That book he's got is good.
Yeah, the book is really good. I'm not sure how much he has about MagnaCut in there. Both those things kind of came out roughly the same time, so I'm not sure how much data there is in there about MagnaCut.
Yeah, a little bit. He's got some data in there.
Okay.
I
know he did a ton of Katra testing and stuff for edge retention. Him and Sean Houston of Triple B Handmade, they've done the Taguchi on all that stuff.
And just for the record, I looked up buck hardness, and it said, this was current news, it said their quality spec is 58, 59 HRC for all of the buck knives. Hey, listen, I've gotten Gerber knives and this, that, and the other that wouldn't hold an edge. I've never owned a buck, but with that being said, I'm just saying that's what they say on their website. Also read while I was looking.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that it is or it isn't. What I'm gonna say is that when I put my little file hardness tester there, 50 scratched it real bad, right?
Yeah.
So it's gotta be under 50, at least on the particular knife that I had, right? So I don't want to say as a blanket statement that all knives that they're making are under 50. It's just that the one that I had was. So,
got you.
You know.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I read the spec. If we were saying something, that it certainly what they're purporting is all. I'm not doubting you per se. Just want to make sure we give them the benefit of the doubt.
And the main takeaway is like, okay, so halfway through a deer, I have to stop what I'm doing, take it to a little, sharpening rod, couple of strokes, go back to work, right? So I mean.
I say halfway through a deer, drink another beer.
There you go. That is not something that I want to do when I am somewhere where I don't have a whole lot of equipment to bring with me.
Yeah.
And
the file hardness method can get you a good ballpark, but it definitely, if you don't have like some steel that's known hardness to like see exactly what the scratches are, like you can make a scratch in a on the surface, but it doesn't actually cut the steel. The file is actually skating, and it'll kind of look like it's making a scratch. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of technique to use those files. That's why like an actual hardness machine is much better. And usually you can go to like lots of machine shops and stuff. If you give them like $10, they'll let you test as much stuff on their hardness tester as you want.
Yeah,
So you're talking about just like a little surface scratch where there would be some like decarb, or after decarb has been cleaned out of the surface of the
Yeah,
blade.
after it's all cleaned and there's an edge, if you use those files, it takes a lot of technique. You can actually, it's like putting a scratch in the surface instead of actually like removing the steel, which is what you're kind of having to do with those files.
So when you're talking a scratch, we're talking about a scuff mark and not a cut. Right? Okay.
Yeah.
So when I tested those knives, there was actually a cut on the steel.
Okay.
Right. So
I'm not
it's
saying
not
you did
just
it
a
wrong.
scuff
I just
mark.
said it takes a lot of technique to get those right.
Right.
I know a lot of people that use a 65 hardness one and they just run it across stuff and they're like, oh, see, it's over 65. I'm like,
you're not doing it right. I've seen that too. Yeah. Yeah.
The steel you're using can't get to 65. So
right. Guys, I have some more breaking news. If you go to knife-wood.com, you'll find Oleg Bashkovich's site, Knife-Wood, and you can find some of the most beautiful stabilized wood. Even more important, his open cart site is back up and running. Just went and purchased something while y'all were talking about knife steel. If you wanted that piece of wood, you lost it because I bought it while you were talking. But guys, if you want some of the most beautiful wood that's made out there, he makes it in Russia and he gets it to your home very quickly. I've waited about a week for an order in the past, and that's even good for inside the U.S. shipping. So once you use his products, I'm guaranteed you'll be sold on his quality, his artistic ability, and his great customer service. So that's knife-wood.com. Go in and take a look at the blocks that he has to offer. Additionally, Eric Rivers couldn't be with us tonight because he's celebrating his 61st wedding anniversary. And I just want to make sure everybody knows that he is a co-host on our very own website, but he's out there and he spends a lot of time teaching people the finer arts of knife making at the Rivers Experience on YouTube and TRE Workshop on Facebook. If you want to join in the fun with that community, watch his videos or live online events now, you're going to learn to be a better knife maker. So go out and catch Eric Rivers at the Rivers Experience, TRE Workshop on Facebook, or see his knives at theriversexperience.com. Can you do that, Mark?
I have got to get get in contact with Oleg. I mean, I placed an order about a month ago. He was shipping it from Russia. I still haven't gotten it.
Has your
I bought 6 blocks.
Has your whatever that order was, where you had to stay at least a continent away from him, expired yet?
The what? Say it again. You're breaking
up. What do they call those orders where you have to stay away from somebody? Court order? Come on, what's it called?
Oh,
yeah, I thought, yeah, we've all gone crazy here. I thought he had a court order that you had to stay at least a continent away from him.
I think he is. It's waiting for the shipping box.
Oh. All right.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have to turn you into Interpol for the reward. So maybe it was 2 continents. I don't know. With that being said, we are at an hour and 52. Kyle, you always make our shows go much quicker, but Otis here is always looking for something, and we're going to bring it to him in just one moment.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
You ready, Otis here?
Let's go.
Are you getting excited?
Always.
The monkey has spoken.
Brought to you by Porkhouse Productions.
Here it comes. 3, 2, 1. Otis here smiling.
Oinky, oinky, oinky.
He phased out.
Otis here likes the oinky, oinky, oinky. So y'all know what Porkhouse Productions is? Or y'all just going with it for the last 2 years?
Yeah, we've been going with it.
Yeah. Porkhouse is the umbrella company that owns Shegman Knives, CarolinaChip.com, and Knives Templars. So when you hear Porkhouse Productions, it's kind of like if I had Suge Knight, like Suge Knight had Tupac and all those other guys under him. I think that's the way it went. That's kind of like Porkhouse is your Suge Knight. So don't screw up.
All right.
Post show, he's in jail. Post show discussions. Before we get there, guys, hey, questions, comments, product reviews, show and guest ideas. Want to know how to find Knife Perspective Podcast? Just subscribe and email me and ask. I'll tell you. knivestemplars@yahoo.com or DM us on Facebook in the Knives Templars podcast group. You can also visit knivestemplars.com to stay up to date. Knivesperspective.com. Kyle Daly's great, wonderful site is also out there. I never want to be one-sided with a brother from another. Are you human?
Yep.
Well, I guess everybody's got a mother, whether you're human or not. You're I don't know, the way Dan talks about you, you're an angel, and he's evil, and you're the angel. So I just want to make sure that you weren't holy. Anyway, our episode is sponsored by the Rivers Experience, Redeem Steel, Knife-Wood.com, Ameribraid, Majestic Forge, Byford's Guns, right here in Hartselle, Alabama. Pop's Knife Supplies, Maritime Knife Supply, House-Made Phoenix Abrasives, and that Templars 10 discount for 10% off your order. Additionally, we'd like to invite let everybody know that we appreciate our new and largest paying sponsor, and that is Knife Perspective Podcast, who is working with us to help them do some search engine optimization to make them number one. So we'll be working on that with you. We look forward to it, Kyle. Anyway, our availability is on iHeartRadio. Why are you laughing, Kyle?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. Our availability is iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, Amazon, CastBox. List of resources, suggested materials, and social media handles at the Knives Templars Podcast on Facebook. And again, you can get us at the Knives Templars at yahoo.com. And finally, if you contact Kyle at knifeperspective.com, he will always let you know where to find the Knives Templars and steer you to our podcast. The end. Guys, what are you doing this weekend?
Oh, me?
We're taking some family photos.
Oh, some of those really cool photos?
Yeah, my wife wants, she's got a professional photographer lined up, so we're going to all get dressed up and act happy.
Cool.
So
all right.
Cool.
Hopefully our boys don't get screamed at too much and actually smile. So
you ought to give everybody a chef's hot knife in each hand and let them do the Britney Spears knife dance.
Yeah, that should be fun.
It's just going to be my wife and me and our 2 7-year-old boys. So don't want them having too much.
I'm tickled that you get
Spears dancing.
I'm tickled you get to do that this weekend and not me. I already did all that for 18 years with kids in the house. Yeah. Now all I have to pose for is Easter and Christmas photo. And I'm the old guy, so I get to sit in the middle in the chair like the grandpa now. It's just like I sit there and look kind of like an invalid and smile a little bit and realize that I'm the next one. I'm now that person that's the next one in the coffin. So I guess.
Do you get to use or do the matching pajamas? My wife is all over that for Christmas.
I'm sorry you have to do that. I am really sorry. No, that's where I definitely would have put my my man foot down and said, just ain't happening.
Yeah.
But hey, you have to
live with her. That's what you think, and then you wouldn't say that.
That's right. You have to live with her. I don't, and trust me, I've given in on many things. A happy wife is a happy life. So it equals 40. Equals what? 43 years done, right?
43 November.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Well, I hope you enjoy those pictures. You don't make knives on the weekends, do you? Unless you're just really backed up.
Kyle, do you make knives on the weekend?
Me?
Yeah.
I work whenever I can.
Gotcha.
Lots of times I do the weekends also.
Do you really? You keep TV out there so you can watch Red Wings hockey?
No TV in the shop.
Just keep it busy.
Do have the stereo and also my earbuds. I use those a ton. Listen to different podcasts like this one, and
yeah, you're very nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Was it Fader that said on their podcast, Knife Talk? I think he said that he doesn't keep a couch in his shop.
Right.
Yeah.
He wants to keep it as uncomfortable as possible.
Yeah,
so
that's what
it gets out.
There you go. Otis here. You deer hunting this weekend? You deer hunting? What are you doing, man?
Knife show.
That's right, knife show. I'm sorry. Yeah,
knife show
the Bill Moran
tomorrow.
show.
Don't know about Sunday yet. We'll see.
You ought to go by
let's
Walmart.
Play it by ear, huh?
Go by Walmart and get you some of those butter knives or fortune fire knives and etch a little pinto in them like the Pakistani guys do.
Mm-hmm.
And just, when you run out of your good knives, pull those out and sell them for half price of your other knives. So,
gosh.
There you go. I hope that.
Did you see the videos Jay Nielsen did testing those?
No, what happened? He cut them in half with his knife?
He was actually shocked that they performed as well as they
that's
did.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I spoke on a previous show.
Are you talking about the forged and fire knives or the Pakistani knives?
The Forged and Fire branded 3-piece kitchen knife set that they were selling.
Gotcha. Well, that is good to hear. I will tell you, I went to Cavender's out in Texas a few weeks ago. I'll be in Texas next week, as a matter of fact, and found I was looking at the brand that they carry knives, and I saw Pakistan stamped on some of them, this, that, and the other. They were selling them as, cowboy western, knives, boot knives, side holster knives, this, that, and the other. And the handles peeling away from them already in the case, and handles already peeling away, and just the what you and I would call really juvenile workmanship. And I don't mean that all knives from Pakistan or India or South Carolina look like that. I'm just saying that the ones there, it just really surprised me that that's what they had in their cabinet for $70 a knife, but it is what it is. So anyway, you can do that, Otis, here, but it's not a good gig. It's not a good gig.
I was at a gun show about a month ago in Virginia. I went there to get some supplies, and there was this guy there selling a whole bunch of these Pakistani Damascus knives, and everybody coming around and look at that, amazing, pretty. This week I saw a picture of one knife, regular carbon steel. It was halfway through.
I saw that picture.
Pakistani knives.
Yeah.
You saw that, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Some of them are some of them are very pretty knives. They are that. So I mean, you just can't take it away. That's the material that they've got to do whatever they're doing it with. It just kind of. I don't want to get off on a Pakistani knife thing. It just kind of floods our market, and it's not.
It gives a bad name to custom and especially Damascus.
Well, it's not apples to apples, and the general public don't understand that. VMAX, what are you doing this weekend? Still thinking about getting that 220 out in your garage?
Yeah, but Don's never coming up. No, I'm just kidding. I got in contact with electricians, so I got to just get on his calendar and have him come out here to give me a quote. So got to do that. That's in the upcoming week. I got to talk to him next week. This weekend we have a friend who's having a birthday tomorrow. We're going to do like a fire pit type of thing. So that'll be tomorrow. We're going to do probably more work. My wife has that new horse, so we'll probably work with the new horse a little bit. And then really in the knife world, I got to finish up working those scales up. I had 4 different materials. I have some Juma and some canvas micarta and a couple nice exotic woods that I found at this exotic wood store up by me. So I'm trying some of those out. So
cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Getting all that worked up. Yep.
Don?
I got to make a few sheaths for some knives that I made. I just got I do Kydex. I know y'all guys do leather, but I do Kydex. So I went ahead and purchased me a heat press for like a t-shirt press.
Oh, cool.
Heat press.
Cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised. You got to dial in the heat, what the time and the heat it needs to be in there. And I tell you what, I did some test pieces, man. I was using the oven, and it's so it's inconsistent. I I like to be consistent in what I do and what I'm working on. So,
all right,
it's really, it works out really good. So I'm kind of looking forward to using it to build some sheaves and getting more definition in my sheaves and stuff like that, and holsters
good for
too.
you.
I want to get into making some holsters.
Yeah.
So.
I ordered an OptiClip. Mark, you and I got knives from Eric Rivers at Blade Show, and I ordered an OptiClip to put on that sheath that he had for that knife. So I just haven't received it yet. As soon as I do, I'm going to screw it in. I carried that knife to deer camp, and everybody was all giddy about it. That it had the hammered in forged handle and everything. They thought that was pretty darn cool. So at that moment, I said I need an OptiClip for this. So. Guys, this weekend I'm going to be working on that chef's knife. I wasn't able to get anything out of Kyle Daly. I was a little subterfuge there trying to find the secret so that I could promote myself under his post for selling his knives. I would sell mine half price, but it'd be as good as a Kyle Daly's knife. That wouldn't bother you.
To win.
That wouldn't bother you if I hijacked your post with my half price goods that are claimed to be as good as yours.
Everybody else is.
There you go, baby. Don't do that to Kyle. Don't do that to Kyle. I'm gonna get this podcast in and out on the internet, and then I head over to Texas next week wearing one of my great little Grizz hats. Guys, go to Hats by Grizz, made with joy. That's etsy.com/shop/hats by Grizz and get you some great hats. But to wind this down at the 2-hour and 4-minute mark, I do want to say that Kyle, you are certainly a best friend of our friend group. Yes. My sons use that term, friend group. You are certainly a best friend, and I am so tickled. We haven't talked in a few weeks, and we started chatting again this week on our group that we're in. Man, there's not a time I've talked to you I just haven't felt blessed to have you shared your wisdom or just your day or the fact that you've got to go sit with your wife and make pictures tomorrow. Bless your heart. But just as important, for all the listeners out there, guys, thank you so much for listening. Our listenership is up. We're seeing more and more hits. We're climbing up on our search engine stats, and it's because of you. It's not just the material we put out. It is the fact that you're listening and contributing to our show. So thank you all so much for that. Whatever service you're listening to us on, whether it's Spotify, Apple, or whatever, be sure and hit that subscribe button so that you'll know when we have the latest and greatest come out. And because we do have our good friend on here, be sure and tune in to Knife Perspective podcast. They've been out there a little bit longer than us. I'm not sure. You've been over 2 years, right, Kyle?
2019.
There you go.
Coming up on
4 years,
or right before Blade Show will be 4 years.
Yeah. Okay. So you've been out there twice as long as us, and I will tell you, Dan and Kyle put out a 5-star podcast, and you tell Dan, Chip said it was 5.5 now that he don't have a potty mouth anymore, and when I say that, guys, Dan has never been bad. He's a sweetheart of a guy, and if you ever had the opportunity to meet him, you would know that all along. I think he was a Marine, right?
Army,
I believe. Okay. Oh, that's right. But he was Special Forces or something. He was a killer. My point is, the man earned the right to drop a few military F-bombs here or there. Yeah. He's a sweet, sweet man with a wonderful story as well. Guys, thank you so much, and Odysseer, do you want to get excited and hear it one more time?
No.
Oinky, oinky,
oinky. Good night. Say good night, guys.
Good night, guys.
Hey,
have a great
good night,
week.
Everybody.
Be safe.
Good night. Good night.